Hello, you lovely cubs. It's the Dragon Lord here, back again with another part of What If Tanjiro Had Hellflame, Part 2. You guys quite like this series, so I decided to bring Part 2 out before What If Rimuru had solo leveling, because I've been struggling with that series a bit. So, anyway, if you're new here, consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 10k by the end of the year, so if you help me achieve that goal, it would mean a lot to me. Without any further ado, let's get into it.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat, you'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious, release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blown me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon, stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn, and I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan. Sick, twisted, gifted, can't copy, printed, can't hold me down. I shape shift, I'm liquid. I killed this beat, I might get convicted. They know how I move.
Tanjiro, feeling a sharp pain in his neck, would wake up to find Giyu, the man who knocked him out, standing against a tree. He quickly looked around, trying to find his sister, as he found her laying next to him, with a piece of bamboo in her mouth. "You let us live. Why?" Tanjiro would ask, confused. "I see great potential within you. You should head to Sagiri Mountain to train under my sensei Rokodaki," Giyu would say before disappearing. Tanjiro would wake up his sister, and together they would start making their way to Sagiri Mountain, having to stop by a cave because of the sun. Tanjiro ends up buying an old basket and some supplies to make a light-proof basket for his sister. They continue moving and end up passing by a mother and her child who warns them of the dangers up ahead. They need to cross another mountain before they are able to head to Mount Sagiri, and while crossing that mountain, it now being nighttime, Tanjiro can smell blood, as both he and Nezuko start running towards the smell. They find a shrine, and upon opening the door, they find a demon feasting on people there. The demon looks over at them as it begins to speak. "This is my hunting ground, so get lost," as it then decides to smell. "Wait a minute. You're a demon traveling with a human?" Nezuko, however, doesn't answer as she's looking at the blood on the floor. The demon quickly attacks Tanjiro, and Nezuko snaps out of it, realizing her brother is in danger, as she quickly kicks the demon's head off. The rest of the body still moves, however, and Tanjiro quickly burns it to ashes. As he's walking up to the demon, he would speak, "I'm sorry," as he proceeds to incinerate its head. Tanjiro proceeds to make graves for the dead people, and after giving them a prayer, a voice speaks up. "You must be the boy Giyu mentioned." Tanjiro would turn around to see who it was, to see this older-looking man with a red mask in front of him. "Yeah, that's me. My name is Tanjiro Kamado, sir," he said, a bit saddened. "I see. You beat the demon that killed these poor souls. You did good," the man said, putting his hand on Tanjiro's head. "Giyu told me that you want to become stronger. Are you sure you want this?" the old man said. "I'm sure. I don't want anybody to go through what me and my sister did," Tanjiro would say with a firm resolve in his eyes. The man would tell them to follow, and Tanjiro, now with his sister on his back, would do so. They would arrive at Urokodaki's house at dawn, as they would put Nezuko in a futon to let her rest. After that, Tanjiro had to follow Urokodaki up the mountain. Once they arrived at a certain spot, Urokodaki told him to arrive at his house before dawn. Urokodaki disappeared, and Tanjiro started running. He realized the air was way thinner, but didn't get bothered by it that much, as he's used to less air. This is partly due to his training with his fire abilities. He would use his fire to fly down towards Urokodaki's house, activating a few traps but easily dodging them. Tanjiro had kept up his training to some extent, so he was in quite a good shape. He arrived at the house after 20 minutes. This surprised Urokodaki, who said, "Your training starts tomorrow." Tanjiro would rest, and the next day his training would begin. They would be behind Urokodaki's house as the old man would speak. "You told me you have a peculiar ability," the old man would say. "Right, I can control fire, and my family has this dance of sorts which comes with a weird breathing technique," Tanjiro would say, showing off his fire control by making a flame in his hand. That's quite peculiar indeed, Rokodaki would say. Can you show me that dance? He would continue. Of course, Tanjiro would say. He would unsheath his blade. As Rokodaki saw the blade, he realized it was a colorless Nichiren. As he pointed this out to Tanjiro, Tanjiro, being clueless to what a Nichiren blade is told by the Rokodaki. After that, he performs the Hinokami Kagura, with the Rokodaki being quite breathtaken by the dance. It appears you have inherited a breathing style from your family, Rokodaki would say. Is that a problem? Tanjiro would ask, worried. No, it's not, but it might become a problem for you to try and combine the two breathing styles. Well, since you have a good physique, we will skip to training your sword skills, breathing style, movement, and technique, Rokodaki would say. Getting a nod from Tanjiro, 6 months would go by with Tanjiro training to use his swords, learning water breathing, and learning how to move with his sword, and so on. Rokodaki would then tell him that their training is finished as he brings him to a massive boulder, nearly 3 times Tanjiro's size. Cut this rock, and then I will consider your training done, Rokodaki would say, leaving shortly after. Tanjiro, baffled, doesn't know if he can do it, but proceeds to try. He held his sword as he took a breath, as he rushed at the boulder, hitting it, but the strike did nothing but make shivers go down his spine. He proceeds to continue training as he starts repeating the things Rokodaki taught him, and before he knew it, 6 months would have passed, with him making no real improvement. He would sit down as he would start hating himself for being so weak. How pathetic, someone would say. Tanjiro would look up to see a boy wearing a mask sitting there. Who are you? Tanjiro would ask. Who I am isn't important, the man would say, jumping down. As he made his descent, he would kick Tanjiro back. Come at me, he would say in a cold tone. The man, now pointing his wooden sword at Tanjiro, was serious. Tanjiro rushed at him, but just couldn't keep up with the boy, as he got knocked out fast. When Tanjiro awoke, he found himself next to a girl. After hearing Tanjiro admire the other boy's swordsmanship, she would introduce herself and tell Tanjiro that she will help him become stronger. He would learn that her name is Makomo, and the boy he met before was Sabito. Every week, Tanjiro would fight Sabito once, and after 3 months of training with Makomo, Sabito would start using a metal blade to fight Tanjiro. The latter is still losing, however, and after another 3 months would pass. And Makomo, having now corrected every one of Tanjiro's defects, would tell him that he should fight Sabito to see where he stands. The two would fight and Tanjiro would still lose. After waking up, he would be confused. He would turn to Makomo, who was standing next to him. Wait, you corrected all my defects, but I still can't beat him? He would ask, confused. I have fixed all your defects, but it seems like you'll have to become stronger and refine your swordsmanship before you can beat Sabito. Sadly, I can't help you with this, as she proceeded to leave. Tanjiro, taking her words into account, would start training harder. He would start training his water breathing and his Hellflame, as he would try to combine Hellflame with his swordsmanship to make it more potent. He even tried mixing his water breathing with his Hinokami Kagura. He would still challenge Sabito weekly, and after 6 months he would finally be able to beat him. The two stared each other down. Flames would start coming from Tanjiro's feet, and the moment they went at each other, Tanjiro became a blur. His technique was quite strong already, but he himself had to get used to the speed he would move at. He was within striking distance of Sabito, but at this speed Sabito couldn't react, as Tanjiro brought down his blade with a devastating attack, a form of breathing he had created by combining his water breathing and Hellflame, the force of impact being several times greater than anything he had done before. Sabito, after realizing he lost, smiled. His mask is now broken. He congratulated Tanjiro as he disappeared together with Makomo, as the fog would clear up and show the boulder being sliced in half. Tanjiro ended up showing Rokodaki, who was baffled as he revealed the truth. The boulder Tanjiro was at least 4 times bigger than any boulder he had his student sliced before. He patted Tanjiro on the head as they went back to Rokodaki's home, where they had a feast and Tanjiro could rest. A day or two would pass and Tanjiro was about to set out to the final selection, but before he departed, Orokodaki would give him a fox mask and a blue kimono. "Good luck, Tanjiro," he would say as Tanjiro was running off. Tanjiro would be waving at his teacher, and before he got out of view, he would tell Orokodaki to thank Sabito and Makomo for him, which leads to Orokodaki to ponder why Tanjiro knows the names of the dead. Tanjiro would arrive at Fujikasane Mountain, where he would enter the final selection exam area. He starts looking around as he sees quite a few people. Then two younger-looking girls start to speak as they explain the rules of the final selection. After that, final selection starts. Tanjiro has no issue surviving as he easily defeats most demons. Of course, he still asks them if there is a way for a demon to become human, him wanting to save his sister, but the demons don't answer or simply say there is no way for a demon to revert back to human. Most demons on the mountain are starved, so they just attack him. He takes care of most of them simply using his Hellflame or breathing style. 3 days pass in a flash. Tanjiro, who is casually walking through the forest, hears a scream. Running over, he sees a massive monstrosity of a demon chasing someone. It's about to attack the boy again, but Tanjiro swoops in and deflects its attack. "Run!" Tanjiro would scream, as the boy would do just that. The demon, now getting a better look at Tanjiro, starts to speak. "You're one of Orokodaki's students, right?" Tanjiro, taken aback, would say, "You knew Mr. Orokodaki?" The demon starts explaining that Orokodaki captured him as revenge. The demon started killing his students, marking Tanjiro as the 14th one he'll kill. Tanjiro is shocked by this, and the demon starts to gloat. "That's a nice expression. Almost like that boy. What was his name again?" "Ah, yes, Sabito." Tanjiro would be in even deeper shock as he asked, "You know Sabito?" "You know Sabito?" "Do I know him? I killed him," the demon would say as he started laughing. The expression on his face, when he couldn't slice my neck, was priceless. Oh, and the little girl was so terrified. It was hilarious. Tanjiro would be overcome by rage as he would turn on his Hellflame mode, coating most of his body in flames. He mainly coated his face and upper body as he didn't want to burn his clothing. The demon would start laughing, saying, "I'll let you get the first shot." But before he could finish his sentence, Tanjiro, who had become a blur, had already sliced the demon's head off. The demon would start disintegrating and Tanjiro would still show his sincerity. "So this is where you were hiding," a voice would say. Turning around, Tanjiro would be met with the face of a demon woman that had black to orange hair and a hazel eye color. "Who are you?" Tanjiro would ask, pointing his blade at the woman. "Susamaru is my name. Lord Muzan has ordered me to kill you, so I let myself be caught to succeed in my mission," the demon woman would say, after which she proceeded to summon her Tamari as she threw them towards Tanjiro at high velocity. Tanjiro would dodge, however, as he proceeded to simply use the trick he used against Sabito, as he would speed up his movement using his Hellflame to almost cut her head off. The demon, however, would dodge by the skin of her teeth, as she would proceed to take the fight seriously, as she would sprout 4 more arms while saying, "This is fun," as she proceeded to start relentlessly throwing her Tamari at Tanjiro. Tanjiro, however, dodged them quite easily. And after a bit of dodging, he would finish the fight with one fell strike. Susamaru smiled and thanked Tanjiro for the fun fight. The rest of the exam would be a lot easier for the boy, as he ended up surviving the whole 7 days. He arrives back at the entrance of the final selection as he finds himself accompanied by only 3 of the 20 initial participants. He also notices that the boy he tried to save isn't present, which makes him sad. The twins from before start explaining the ranks from the Slayer Corps, and they also give the Slayers their Kasugai crows. One of the participants starts getting impatient and assaults the white-haired twin, as he starts pulling her by the hair and demands his katana. Tanjiro sees this and grabs him by the arm, telling him to let go or he will hurt him. The other participants, however, doesn't let go, and Tanjiro proceeds to activate Hellflame for a second, hurting the boy who then let go. Tanjiro didn't burn him, but still hurt him. They proceeded with the slayers choosing their oars for their blades, with Tanjiro being the first to choose his oar, as he used his nose to choose which one would work for him. After that, they handed in their oars, as they got told that a blacksmith would bring them their sword in 10 or so days. Tanjiro, along with giving his oar, had also given his katana, the one he had gotten from his family, as it was damaged a bit. He would make the request for his new katana to use the scabbard of his previous sword, which they accepted. When they went to take the measurements for the Slayer outfits, Tanjiro asked if he could request a custom-made uniform as well. They asked what he meant as he proceeded to show them his fire ability. He proceeded to pull out a bag he had brought with him, as it was a bag full of his cut hairs as he showed their fireproof effect. He asked if his uniform could be made out of this so he could use his fire ability to protect his body. They accepted and told him that it might take a while before it's finished. Tanjiro was satisfied with that, and after going over a few more things, would make his way back to Rokodaki's house. He would arrive at night, as his sister, who had woken up again, would run towards him, hugging him. Rokodaki would be happy that his student came back, and they talked for the rest of the night, with mainly Tanjiro explaining what happened. And that is where I'm gonna cut off today's part. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, like and subscribe, as it helps out the channel. And if you haven't already, comment down below what you thought of today's part. Join the Discord so you can talk to me or my community. And yeah, 2 more what ifs coming out this week. I know they've been coming out kind of slow. I've been busy with school. But yeah, that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm the Dragon Lord, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one.
Tell me a story.
There was once a pale man with dark hair who was very lonely.
Why was it lonely?
All things must meet this man, so they shunned him.
Did he chase them all?
He took an axe and split himself in two, right down the middle.
So he would always have a friend.
So he would always have